to the OrangeCity Literature Festival Book Review Podcast. I'm Munazanjum Faruqi and I'm excited to introduce this new segment featuring reviews from the students of Nagpur. This is our 6th year, and what better way to celebrate than by giving students a voice. Joining us today is Angel Sabnani from Podar World School, who will be speaking to us about the book Build, Don't Talk by Raj Shamani. Welcome, Angel. Thank you so much for joining us today. So Angel, I'm curious to know that Raj Shamani is an entrepreneur and he's also a content creator. Did you used to follow his content before you read the book?
Not really follow. Some of his reels, popped up on my feed. I didn't quite know that he is Raj Shamani. But one day I was in a bookshop, I saw this book, Build, Don't Talk. And then the talk was split apart. That was a very powerful message, like to execute things. So I bought the book, and then when I read, when I started to research about the author, then I got to know, that person, that is Raj Shamani.
So that's how you got to know.
I got to recognize.
That's how you recognize.
Yeah.
And the book comes in the self-help genre. Do you usually prefer self-help genre over fiction?
No, this was my first book of in the self-help genre.
This was your first book. You usually prefer fiction?
I had actually quit reading for some time, so I was not into fiction at any point of my life. So I was mostly into comic books and stuff.
So did this book help you get back into reading?
Yeah, yes.
Definitely.
But now definitely I'm more into NCERT reading.
Because of your birthday
Yeah.
And this book talks about taking action over just speaking about your goals. How has that helped you?
It has really helped me to stop that procrastination, get to work, that constant fear of perfectionism that has been removed.
So your procrastination stems from perfectionism. Has this book
Yeah.
helped you overcome it?
Yes.
That's nice. And this book also delves into that whole stigma, I would say, around failure. That failure is something that you should avoid, and if you fail, it's the end of your life. It actually gives a new perspective that failure is not the end, it is actually a stepping stone to success. Has that helped you?
Yeah, the main idea is like failing forward. So even a step back is a step forward, The execution itself is a learning process. So you need to execute in order to learn. That's what the key takeaway is.
And Raj Shamani also mentions that the art of negotiating and
Yeah.
managing finances, which is very crucial as you grow up. So this is something that our schools do not really focus on or teach. Do you think this should be a subject that should be introduced in schools?
See, students pretty much learn to negotiate when it comes to marks. But yeah, these subjects shall be introduced. And as far as my school is concerned, Podar World School, Nagpur, we have an entrepreneurship program. Like students from grade 1 to 8, they are engrossed into those programs. There's a group of entrepreneurs. We get investments from our chairman. So yeah.
The book also mentions that you have to embrace discomfort to grow out of your comfort zone, because you cannot be be in your familiar setting and continue to grow as a person. Have you actually applied or inculcated that in your real life?
Actually, see, procrastination was my comfort zone. But then from this book, I got to learn that, work comes spontaneously. For me, work comes spontaneously. So whenever I plan, it doesn't work. And this book, I related to that. Like, it's not about planning and plotting. It's just about executing. Executing is the learning process.
And it really is the execution and the gratification that comes from completing a work that actually motivates you to do more. So that's really it, that you have actually learned it. Now about this book, if there's one key lesson that you could share with your friends about this book, what would that be?
Definitely art of negotiation, because you need that in your life. It's a very crucial skill to have, because see, Raj Shamani mentions about an experience where he, it was his first project or something. It was about collecting database for a company. So companies need like customers' databases now, like their informations and all. So many companies used to charge for this, like billboards and stuff. But Raj Shamani came with an approach that without the billboard thing, I will provide that service to you without the newspapers and all. But he didn't mention the value that he was going to be charging. He did not say his value from his own mouth. He waited for the other person, the company, to,
Put forth a value.
Put forth a value that they respect. So then Raj Shamani realized that the value they have offered is way more than the value he was going to tell them. So that's a very crucial skill, to not expose the value first. Yeah.
And one reason that we can also learn from this is that usually we are very underconfident when it comes to presenting our own work. So getting the feedback first from the prospect really helps you with your confidence, with your project, and it really helps you understand that yes, this is the value I bring to the table, and this is something that the other person is appreciating. And what would you rate this book from 1 to 5?
4.5, because the last portion was like a little bit formal it was, but the whole book. And also there is one part about outsourcing your work. Raj Shamani is not a writer. He is not technically the writer of the book. He actually outsourced a writer because he didn't know how to write. Even he mentions that I don't know how I jotted up this much to form enough of a book. So he tells you that if you don't know some work, don't do it. Outsource it. You need to outsource things and make networks, connections, and he emphasizes on that. So yeah, it really brought back the confidence to be able to not do something.
True, that delegation is also something we should look forward to. Usually, as students, especially you being in your 10th standard and with assignments and projects coming on, it might take a too much toll on you. So you could delegate some work to your friends. That's also one thing that you learn from this book.
Not delegating it to my friends, but yeah, asking for opinion. That did not apply to projects and all, but yeah, in further life, making networks.
In networking,
yes.
You would for sure apply that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Angel, for sharing your insights with us. And to our listeners, mark your calendars for November 22nd, 23rd and 24th for the 6th edition of OrangeCity Literature Festival happening at Chitnavis Center. Meet over 100 plus authors from across India and dive into 3 days filled with books, discussion and inspiration.